Возвращаемся, друзья. Воистину мистическая игра. Гроза просто ушуршала весь свет, поэтому вынуждены были сделать перерыв на час, но теперь возвращаемся с продолжением Hellblade. Нам осталось буквально часа, может быть часик, может быть полтора до конца этой игрухи, хочется уже сегодня дойти. Реальная игра прям удивительная. В прошлое воскресенье у нас вылетел звук. В это воскресенье просто гроза выбила свет, тупо красота. Ну, подстать игрухи. Погнали продолжать. Такс, мы с вами закончили здесь. Нам нужно было разжечь факел. Дальше нам нужно было уронить с вами свет. Мы уже взяли руну в актив? Не взяли. Меня прокляли голоса. Страшно. Этот момент мы уже с вами проходили. Меч уже собрали? Да, меч мы еще собрали до конца предыдущего стрима. Пока что мы не понимали, куда бежать вот здесь. Вот на этом моменте мы и остановились. Но явно ответ — бежать просто куда-то вперед. Да не поворачивая направо, только влево посворачивать решим. Главное, что стримера не выбило, это точно. Прям такая гроза была у нас, свет тупо в секунду, такой бах. Сейчас, секунду, свет переключу на нормальный. Нам определенно где-то там нужно найти факел. Направо был поворот неправильно, нужно поворачивать налево. Хорошо. Право и еще раз лево. Посмотри, докуда заражение на руке, чтобы заново не пришлось проходить. Заражение на руке бодро уже распространилось. До плеча даже чуть выше уже пошло. Мы сейчас нигде не тормознулись. Интересно. Как туда вообще пробраться успеть? Просто ой-ой-ой. Ха. Ха. Ха-ха-ха-ха-ха. Блин, ну мы там сильно не успевали. Ну, погнали еще раз. Я чертовски много не успеваю, я до туда не добегу. Должен быть какой-то другой выход. О. Любопытно. Что скажете, чат? Мы прям жестко не успеваем, там очень длинный проход, чат. Может быть, где-то двери открываются, что-то подобное. Вернуться и глянуть факел. Видишь? Там жаровня, которую нужно зажечь. Тут жаровня, которую нужно зажечь. Но когда мы проходим, факел тухнет. Без этого факела мы просто не протянем. Блин, мне кажется, что туда хода нет. Хорошо, давайте просто на свежую голову обследуем все еще раз сзади. Вот это наша буква. Логично, хочется зажечь вот эту красоту. Хорошо, если ответ просто как-то в углу, например. Тут нам рассказывали историю про дракона, мы ее уже слушали несколько раз.
Although Sigurd kills the dragon, Rian wants to keep Fafnir's gold all for himself. Rian also wants the strength and wisdom of the dragon, so he drinks its blood and asks Sigurd to roast Fafnir's heart for him. Sigurd does so, but when he touches the roasted heart to save its life, he burns his finger. Without thinking, he licks his finger and tastes the dragon's blood. In that moment,
Боже, тут был еще один проход. Ах ты ж мразь. Бля. Красиво. Какой же разводняк. И мы пробирались. И тот свет, который мы видели, это свет сраного факела, который мы же и зажгли. Это гениально. Разработчикам игры 10 из 10. Может, это тупик, чтобы запутать? Именно так и было, дружище. Ай, как красиво. Это и правда очень красиво.
She's making a fire. She's got light on the other side. She'll be safe.
Обдумай логически свои действия сейчас. Да нет, это как бы логически мы все действия правильно делали. Ну, то есть нам нужно зажечь этот факел. Но мы тупо не посмотрели, что есть еще один проход. Это красиво. Это крутой момент. Причем самое крутое, что мы выходили тупо в тот же проход, в который надо было идти.
tender guiding flame in a world so black. The longer it burned, the more she convinced herself that there was nothing beyond its reach. How little separates us from what we fear.
Rian wants Fafnir's gold. Sigurd should kill Rian before Rian kills him. Sigurd should find Brynhild, the Valkyrie, who sleeps an enchanted sleep. Sigurd heeds the birds of ice. He kills Rian, eats Fafnir's roasted heart, and takes Fafnir's treasure. And he embarks on a new quest, to ride to Hinderfell and find Brynhild, the Valkyrie.
Еще на локации с руками. Я тоже рад, что Свет вернулся на будущее.
I am leaving with him.
Turn your back on me. That is why Dillian will rot it now. Come into my shadow.
She's so weak, they can see you're weak.
Только по голове.
Rebuking darkness. Breathing down the darkness.
Так сделали. Гондон. Блин, как же у нас уже чернеет рука.
training. He's breathing darkness. He's breathing darkness.
Чего же он сложный? В смысле? Должен сдохнуть. А ты не сдох.
People think of evil as an unnatural, invisible force,
Но мы сделали то, что надо.
and so invoke the gods
Мы
for
выиграли в
protection.
бою.
But evil can come from the hand behind the gods. A familiar hand, cold and cruel.
Плохая киса, плохая,
Tried to
согласен.
fix her with his rituals. Kept her trapped in that hole. She couldn't say which was worse. The darkness. Or the monster that her father had become. She couldn't fight them both.
На самом деле не знаю, правда ли это, если рука заполнится, что ты будешь ее стартовать.
Headed for the one ray.
Доподлинно в чате никто не писал, что такое у него было.
If she had stayed,
Есть предположение, что это может делаться сугубо для атмосферы игры. Но в любом случае мы стараемся не
maybe
умирать.
Dillian would still be alive.
I'm so sorry, my love.
She will save his soul. Even if this time she can't save her own.
Forgive me, Senua. I know you have no reason to trust me anymore.
Shadow. Listen.
But believe this, it was my mission to make you hate. To hate the darkness with a passion so great it would focus your mind on this quest. For without it, I fear you would have let go of this life.
Как игра в целом 10 из 10.
All this time, I wanted
Без
to protect
преувеличения.
you from the truth that would have destroyed you a long time ago. But you have conquered your darkness at every turn.
Stay alert, Senua.
You deserve to see behind the veil of darkness.
Then take me to
He
the
wants
mountain,
her to trust him.
as deep as we can go.
I won't stand in your way.
She has to trust him.
You will not survive what is in there.
I know.
What else can she do? She doesn't want to turn back. She has nothing. She's come this far. She has to
Финишная прямая. Мне что-то не верится, что прогресс обнулится. Мне тоже не верится, друзья.
What? The gate. Hella's gate. Hella's gate. She's there.
Mother, I won't let the darkness trick me again. I know you're safe with the gods. I can feel Hella's gaze, searching for secrets inside of me. Secrets that even I can't see. I'm not here to fight my past. I'm here for Dillion. I will fulfill my vow, whatever the cost.
No, she can't. It's too dangerous. It's too weak. She has the sword. She is rotting. She is nearly dead. She must defeat Hella. There is no way she can defeat Hella. She must. Hella is powerful. She must defeat Hella. But she has to soul. But she can only. Hella has Dillion's soul. She must speak to her. She must fight, or she must go back. Find another way. There is no reason. There has to be. She can't fight. Turn back. She must. Odin's. She's strong. Is she strong enough? She's. Are you strong enough? She can't. You're strong enough. Senua is strong. Yes, she is. She's not. She's strong enough. Hella has defeated her twice. She can barely walk.
Hella gave you the rot.
Look at your arm.
Look what Hella's done to you in battle.
Can't. This way you can't. Let it go now. It's the only way. You have to do it.
You have to fight on.
We know. She can see it.
The bridge.
She can't cross the bridge. It's broken.
She has to fix it.
It's too dangerous.
She's done it before.
She can't fix it.
She's done it before.
She can. She can. She'll do it again. How will she fix it? How will she do it?
There must be a way.
So you have to try.
She'll never make it.
The Northmen say the world will come to an end. They call this
Два хода, непонятно, какой из них правильный.
the destiny of the gods. First, there will be a terrible winter, 3 years long. Then, mankind will turn on itself. Brothers will fight each other to the death, and people will forget what they owe their kindred. Times will be hard. Crimes will be great. It will be an age of axes and swords. The wind will blow through abandoned halls. Wolves will walk where children played. The world will fall into ruin.
Это был баг, по идее. любопытное местечко мы с вами нашли. Факела нельзя взять. Тут прохода нет. Чтобы сейчас не нужно было возвращаться назад. Там мне сделали один кусок слева. Зачем-то мы сюда выбрались. Неужели это был просто неправильный ход? Блин, ну для чего-то же он есть. Я думаю, для чего-то мы сюда вылезли. Мы должны хоть какую-то часть нас соединить. Блин, неужели игра нас опять запутывает? Блин, ну я в третий раз соединяю вот этот кусок справа, но он не встает. Но оно идеально ставится. Просто идеально, прям тютелька в тютельку. Вот эта вот правая часть моста, ну вот же она. Хорошо. Кусок сделали.
How will she do it?
Должен быть еще проходом.
How's she going to find his actual No. She cannot bargain with Hela. She's not strong enough to kill Hela. What does Hela want? No one can bargain with Hela. What does Hela want? What can she give her? She could give her her own soul. No. Her soul's rotting. She'd rather die. It's a worthless soul. But it's all she has to give. She has a warrior's soul. What more could she give? A cursed soul. Of course she is, no matter what she does. She can feel the blood climbing up her arm. She can fight her. She can fight her at Ragnarok. She's a warrior. She's come this far. Hela will
Похоже, что
want to
Хелла наш
fight
последний
her.
босс.
Her soul is... She can see it. The bridge. She can't cross the bridge. It's broken. She has to fix it. It's too dangerous. She's done it before. You have to fight on. Be powerful. The final battle. Get his soul back. It's the final task.
Yes, it is. This isn't just a broken bridge, is it? Mother, you showed me how to see further. To see the hidden wonders in our world and explore new paths into the unknown. To lead so that others may follow, or to warn so that they may avoid. That is our gift and our duty. I'm not going to look away in fear anymore.
Will turn up the waves. Eagles will scream and tear at the corpses with their yellow beaks. The ship of the dead will set sail.
Всем привет, ребятки, кто присоединяется. Мы тут на максимальной концентрации доходим к руху. Последние загадки прям сложные. Мост соединяется с каждой из этих частей, вероятнее всего. Блин, как же игра тебя разводит? До чего же это красиво сделано? Ого, должно быть где-то... Должен быть ход выше. Один мост вон, внизу. Вон, мы прям смотрим на него, видите? Вон он. Ну вот, есть дверь. Где-то явно должен быть еще спуск.
She can do it.
She can do it.
Мы почти доделали мост. Еще кусок.
So special.
Нужно искать дальше путь. Может быть, где-то здесь.
She has the sight.
Ход дальше.
She can see their secrets.
Сюда нет. Сюда нет. Там справа есть еще двери. Нам нужно выше этого места, где мы сейчас, чтобы соединить вот эту часть. Вот где-то прямо над нами должно быть что-то. Надо с моста осмотреться. Вот мост. Еще один, который нам нужен. Мы по одному вначале поднимались.
There's an illusion. She's found a way. There's a way. She can see. She must align herself. She can do it.
Очевидно, что мы пока не пройдем по мосту, я хочу осмотреть максимально с него.
It's there.
Вот лестница. Вот то, что мы сделали наверху. До этого игра была линейной, из одной части ты переходил в другую. Думаю, что ответ где-то вот здесь должен быть. Возможно, там, где мы собрали мост, оттуда есть какой-то ход дальше. Хотя с предыдущей точки мы возвращались обратно. Да, мостов здесь хреновая гора. Хорошо, этот ход наверх мы помним. Давайте еще раз тут подробно все осмотрим. Тут нет. Тут нет. Где-то здесь спуск вниз отсутствует. Здесь отсутствует. Блин, только вверх. Где-то по дороге какая-нибудь ниша. Блин, ну тут ни черта нет. Пусто. Хорошо, это локация, все. Нет, там все части уже на местах. Вот лестница вниз, но мы не можем по ней добраться по этому парапету. То есть нам нужно выйти как-то оттуда. Тут нет ни лестниц, ни хрена. Сверху. Блин, а если мы с этого моста должны еще один мост построить, например, вот такой. Окей. Только надо было не мост, а проход, вот почему оно там висело.
The Northmen say that at Ragnarok, the gods will face a ship full of their foes, which Loki has steered to Asgard. It carries the fire giants, the wolf that will eat the sun, and all kinds of dark creatures. Surt will join them with his sword of fire. The cliffs will crash, trolls will walk the land, men will tread the road to hell, and the heavens will split open.
Да нет, тут все головоломки логичные. Нет никаких ни багов с головоломкой, ничего, они все абсолютно логичные. Там висят куски, которые явно не подходят к мосту. Они висят выше. Тут наоборот охеренные головоломки. Не просто ответить на загадку или поставить статуи правильными местами, а здесь творческие, что ли, головоломки все. Охренительная игруха, ну прям просто топ. Наверх идет. Лестница, помним про нее, откроем двери. Блин, это сейчас только не запутаться, очень большая локация. И еще одна лестница, я думаю, что нам вначале нужно наверх достроить мост. С возвращением тебя также, дружи. Та самая вышка, которая нам нужна была для того, чтобы достроить две недостающие части. Тут мы тоже не были, правда?
over.
Finish it.
Вот они, наши крошки. Нет. Как нет? Не плавь мне мозг, оно идеально встало. Да ну вот же, тютелька в тютельку. Да как нет, Senua? Хорошо. Мувик после игры посмотрим, конечно. Игра 2 из 10. Каждому свое.
The Northmen said each god will do battle at Ragnarok. Odin will fight the monstrous wolf and be killed, but his son will avenge him and plunge his sword into the heart of the beast. Freyr will face Surt, but he had given his sword away for love, and without it, he cannot defend himself against the flames. Thor will smite the Midgard serpent to no avail. The sun will grow black, the earth will sink into the sea, the stars will disappear, fire and water will meet, steam will shoot up, flames will play against the sky, the heavens and earth and all the world will be burned, all the gods will be dead, and the warriors of Valhalla and the people everywhere. Senua, prepare yourself for Ragnarok. For it is nigh.
Хорошо, мы собрали мост. Был еще один ход снизу. Да, есть фильмец про эту игру, мы его посмотрим после того, как закончим прохождение. Это мы уже открывали. Вроде бы да, но на всякий.
The Northmen say that at Ragnarok the gods will face a ship full of their foes, which Loki has steered to Asgard. It carries the fire giants, the wolf that will eat the sun, and all kinds of dark creatures. Surt will join them with his sword of fire. The cliffs will crash. Trolls will walk the land. Men will tread the road to hell, and the heavens will split open.
В спине есть еще один тип. Но есть ульт, что отлично. представляли.
Too many. Watch out! Behind you! Behind you! Finish this! End it now! Use your sword. Do it. She can do it. Do it.
Сложная драка на мосту.
Send. Get out! Behind you!
У меня пока есть предположение, что, может быть, не нужно с ними драться, а нужно идти вперед. Это было... Ух!
Get up quick! She's come this far, she needs...
Плотно словил.
Send. She will die. She finished it! Don't let them surround you. We can anticipate. Finish this! Finish this! Behind you! End it! Behind you! Get out of the way! Behind you! He's down! Finish it! Remember the warrior tribes. The mirror focus is coming back. Behind you! Behind you! Watch out!
Блин, если реально просто идти вперед места. Почему это не спамится бесконечно? Давайте еще штук 5 убьем. Нет, не бесконечно.
The path to hell. I can sense her. Where is she going? She's getting closer to hell. She's going to die. I'm scared. Wait. Wait. What? What happens when she dies? What happens to us? What happens to us? We die too. Do we die too? We die too. I don't want to die.
We'll all die someday.
I don't want to die.
And when everyone's gone, even the gods will die.
I don't want to die. We don't want to die.
I don't want to die.
Senua, stop.
Senua,
Turn back.
Stop. Stop her.
Why is she going? Stop.
Senua, stop.
What happens to us? Why would she stop to die? She won't stop. 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 I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
I'm sorry. I didn't ask you to be a part of me. If you don't want to die with me, then leave me alone.
I don't want to die. Please stop. 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 Please stop.
You'll never come back if you go there.
There is nothing to go back to.
We only have each other now. Don't abandon me.
Everyone suffers. They were right about me.
Listen to me. Not them. They were afraid. Like children scared of the dark.
So was I.
They made up monsters to fill the void. That doesn't make them real.
They made them real.
No!
Follow your soul and let go of the Senua of old. For there lies your weakness, and the darkness will find it.
It's not like the old stories, is it? The noble warrior facing evil in search of victory and honor. Clear dividing lines. No. Oh, this place is not quite like that. It's as if it knows that true torment.
Штук
lies
6
within.
порталов не нашли.
Memories you cannot defeat, cannot escape. This is her hell.
Wait, Senua. Don't be like this. Turn away, Senua. Turn away, Senua!
You see it, Senua? You see the darkness, faces of fear and suffering. You can see it.
I remember it clearly now.
She has nothing to fear anymore. The gods have saved your mother. Through my hand.
You killed her.
It is the will of the gods.
Fuck the gods! You did this to her! Why?
This is what happens when you listen to the voices of the underworld. They crawl into your soul and rot you from the inside. Defy the gods like your mother, and the darkness will come for you too. You understand, Senua?
I do understand. You cursed me with your own madness. I was just a child. You created this darkness! You created this darkness so you could hide behind it!
Only suffering brings salvation. It is the way of the gods.
It was all a lie. You are a lie! She didn't defy the gods. She defied you. And so you killed her.
You didn't pray to the gods. You prayed to your mother. Your mother, who was too weak to fight the darkness and abandoned you.
You tortured her. You killed her. You are the darkness.
Those rituals, the years of isolation, the pain that still haunts you. It was the only way to fight the curse within you.
You're a liar.
The darkness is inside you and it will destroy you.
You're a liar!
No, Senua. The darkness is here. You can't wish it away. And it will watch as you draw the last dying gasp.
I won't let you kill me! You're surrounded. Behind you. Careful. Behind you. Watch out. Be careful, Sam.
Welcome, my darling.
О, игра под спайсами.
Спасибо за ресурс.
Careful, Sam. Behind you. Watch out.
Какой же божественный саундтрек.
I can see through your darkness. You're a liar and a murderer. And if you really are Hela, then I have a sword here that can kill a god.
Look at you. Running forward and moving backwards to one you're near the past. You're making a mistake searching for Dillion. The same mistake that killed him in the first place.
Похоже, что Senua его и убила.
tried to save you from yourself. You still believe it is a lie? The plague of darkness.
Да, 10 из 10. Это вообще, наверное, пока лучшая игра, в которую я играл на стриме.
You saw it yourself.
You told everyone I was cursed.
Пока первая десятка за 6 лет стриминга.
I believed you.
Если концовка не подкачает.
Tell me, Senua, where is Dillian's soul if the darkness is a lie? How you saved her?
He's here. I know he's here. Dillian, I know you're here. Hold on. I'll find you.
Ворон. Давай.
Trying to trick me again with your lies. I know he's here. You took him from me. You have him.
Dillian is gone. Dillian is dead. Let him go now. I'm warning you.
Or what? What can you do to me that you haven't already?
You betrayed your own father. You
Come on.
betrayed the gods in search of Dillian, in search of love. Look where that's got you. Let go of your battle. Let go of your
Behind you.
Let go of Dillian. Don't let your darkness hurt anyone else.
Behind you. Careful.
У меня ощущение, что это тупо бесконечный бой, в котором невозможно умереть.
Behind you. Behind you. Careful. Watch out. Careful, Senua. Behind you. Behind you. Careful. Behind you. Careful. Behind you. Watch out.
Или реально не заканчивается. Давайте еще под одним ультом размажем 5-7, если не будет двигаться. Блин, ну я не могу выбрать целью рисовать план. Это бесконечный бой.
Be careful, Senua.
Хорошо, если вот это
Let go
правильно
of Julian. Let go of your battle.
Нет, смерть неправильное решение или правильное? Правильное. Я не могу выделять сам цель. Пока что концовка похожа на то, что мы с вами думали, что он все это время находится в собственных кошмарах. Половина лица сожжена, это ее мать. Не отец, а мать. Она дочь Хель, мы предполагаем. Давайте посмотрим. Нет, сложности здесь нет. Ничего, не выбора сложности, ни хп, ни смена айтемов.
If you're alive, and there's no darkness, then you never took him from me, did you? And I can't save Dorian.
А Дилиан ли? Вообще там.
Is that what you want me to believe? After all you've done to me? And to him? You're not a lie, but you're a liar! You crawled into me to confuse me and deceive me. But I know it. I know you have him. I'll give you my life. That's what you want, isn't it? My soul. Take it. I'll be a slave for you. I'll fight with you at Ragnarok. If you release it.
Он скопировал ее мимику, или мне показалось?
But if you won't, you will have to kill me. Because I've got nothing left. No fear. No hate. No quest. Nothing. You will have no power over me.
I learned the hard way to not be afraid of death, Senua. Because a life without loss is one without love. You turn your back on death, and all you can see is the shadow that it casts. The longer you hide from it, the longer the shadow grows until all you can see is darkness. When our time comes, we must look death in the eye and embrace it as a friend. Only then can we let go of our fear. And emerge from our darkness.
Never forget what it is like to see the world as a child, Senua. Every autumn leaf is like a work of art. Every rolling cloud a moving picture. Every day, a new story. We too emerge from this magic, like a wave from the ocean, only to return to the sea. Do not mourn the waves, the leaves, and the clouds. Even in darkness, the wonder and the beauty of this world never leaves us. It is always there, waiting to be seen again.
Я визуализировала чудовище в себе.
This is where my story once began. And so it has to end here. Because I cannot see further than this.
Follow us. We have another story to tell.
My friend, go with her. This now will be your story to witness. Goodbye.
Гарно, пиздец.
I know it's hard to tell how mixed up you feel. Hoping what you need is behind every door. Each time you get hurt.
Очень красивая игруха про борьбу с внутренними демонами. Охеренно сделанная, просто невероятно красивые загадки. Просто топовый сюжет. Охеренная боевка, все охеренно. Моща, игруха моща. Охуенная игра, охуенная игра. Просто охуенная. Мне почему-то очень ассоциируется с фильмом, который недавно смотрел, с фильмом «Маяк». Очень какая-то история. Солнцестояние туда же. Это ведь единственная возможная концовка, я думаю, что да. Очень круто. Ух. Я думаю, что рука ничего не сбрасывает. Я думаю, что здесь можно было умереть и 5000 раз.
This world is just illusion, always trying to change you.
Давайте посмотрим фильмец про то, как делали эту игру. Да, это прям хорошо. Как хороший фильмец.
Please don't go. I want you to stay. I'm begging you, please. Please don't leave here.
Да, рука ничего не сбрасывает, но всю игру держит напряжение, согласен. Хотя уже где-то, наверное, последней четверти я тоже начал сомневаться, что рука как-либо влияет. На выходе писали, что рука реально стирает сейв, как сейчас, не знаю. Сомнительная история. Не думаю. Блин, очень хочется уже досмотреть. Хочется посмотреть фильмец, но он тут в главном меню. Да, понятно, эти никаких вопросов. Вначале говорили, что если ты умираешь много раз, то это отображается на твоей руке, и эта история закончится, если ты умрешь слишком большое количество раз. Давай посмотрим фильмец.
Stormy seas and lost souls.
Who is it?
She's dreamt of this before.
It's coming. Is it?
They say dreams are visions of our memories, thoughts and fears, as seen by our inner eye.
Okay.
What if each one of us is always dreaming, even when awake? And we only see what our inner eye creates for us. Is this what hell is? A world shaped by Senua's nightmares. Maybe that's why people fear seeing the world through her eyes.
Yes, she's scared.
Because if you believe that Senua's reality is twisted, you must accept that yours might be too.
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a video game about Senua, a Celtic warrior on a vision quest into Viking territory. But what sets our hero Senua apart is that she suffers from severe psychotic mental illness.
He knows she's getting closer. He can feel her coming.
Психотического.
She's getting closer. They're watching.
The original idea for Hellblade was to create a classic hero's journey, a journey of suffering, but one where the fantasy world is not another planet or alternate universe, but a world that is constructed in Senua's mind. But to do so would mean putting psychotic mental illness at the center of the experience. a subject that is still considered taboo, and a challenge that was both terrifying and exciting in equal measure. In Hellblade, the starting point was a newly discovered Celtic goddess called Senua in Ashwell, Hertfordshire. When first discovered, her name was thought to be Senua, a name which I liked and kept. I wondered if Senua might have been a Celtic warrior like Boudica who stood up to the Romans. While the Romans had conquered all of Europe, there was a group of Celts up in the furthest reaches of the Roman Empire that could not be conquered, the Picts. And so the Romans built a wall, called Hadrian's Wall, that spans across Britain from sea to sea to keep the Pictish barbarians at bay. The Picts were known for their war paint, painted on with woad, and their matted hair clumped with lime. And so Senua would be a barbarian Pict in this image.
What's your name?
Senua.
I haven't seen you before.
I don't live home much.
Oh, Zeno's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait.
Orkney is off the coast of Scotland and was inhabited by the Picts, steeped in history and mystery, and so I made Orkney Senua's home and set the stage for a crisis. In the late 8th century, the first Vikings landed on the Orkney Islands. The population of the Picts crashed thereafter, replaced by the Norsemen of the 9th century. Were they wiped out? We don't know for sure, but it would seem likely given the reputation of the Vikings. The Northmen's brutality is legendary. High-ranking leaders and chieftains of the tribes they conquered were often offered as sacrifice to their gods. The most brutal of these sacrifices was known as the Blood Eagle. I imagine Senua as a young female warrior who returns home from exile to find her partner, Dillion, brutally sacrificed to a Norse god by these hellish warriors from a faraway land. I imagine the horror of this moment and how it would have dragged her deep into mental torment.
No!
I came to learn that the Celts had a sophisticated and nuanced perspective on the nature of mental disorder. One term they used was gelt. A gelt is a man or woman who has been driven mad by a curse, battle trauma, or grief. The gelt would take to a life in the woods in search of penance, punishment, and purgation. And so Senua became a gelt, cursed by darkness, looking for redemption in the wilds. Another word the Celts used in reference to mental disorders was druth, meaning fool, or liar, one who utters the words of God. They tell of the mad sinner who flees battle into exile and takes on a beastly nature, growing feathers on his body. The character called Druth in Hellblade is based on a little-known person called Findan, an 8th century Irish Celt who was captured and enslaved by the Vikings, but eventually escaped to Orkney where he became a monk.
I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
Upon meeting Senua, it would be his stories that fuel her quest deep into their world of gods.
The Northmen say the world will come to an end.
The sun will grow black, the earth will sink into the sea, the stars will disappear, fire and water will meet, flames will play against the sky.
The heavens and earth and all the world will be burned, all the gods will be dead, and the warriors of Valhalla and people everywhere.
Senua, prepare yourself for Ragnarok, for it is nigh.
So the stage was set for a new adventure, a journey into the Norse underworld called Hell, a vision quest fueled by madness and myth, a fantasy that was created by Senua's own mind, and one that we would experience through her eyes.
This is your mission. This is your quest. There is nothing else left.
To make a game about a warrior with psychotic mental illness as its central theme was fraught with danger. Mental illness, such as psychosis, is still taboo and rarely acknowledged in a century of cinema, never mind the new medium of games. Where it does feature, it often conflates psychosis and psychopathy associated with a lack of empathy. It is unfortunate that these two words sound so similar that they are used interchangeably in media. I must admit that I didn't have to look very far to discover my own ignorance of the subject. So we reached out to Paul Fletcher, psychiatrist and professor of health neuroscience at University of Cambridge.
Psychosis is a descriptive term, and it refers to having a loss of contact with objective reality. So it's characterized by two main sets of symptoms. One of them is hallucinations, where somebody experiences perceptions when there is no actual objective thing out there to perceive.
Who are you?
And the other is delusions, where somebody comes to very often bizarre, unpleasant, frightening beliefs when there's no good evidence in favor of them.
There's no doubt about it. The source of the darkness is in Helheim, and the goddess Hela holds his soul there.
We reached out to Welcome, a biomedical research charity that spends billions on research and awareness programs aimed at improving health.
Mental health hasn't always been presented in the media in a way that is particularly helpful. It can be challenging to engage people with the subject matter, and there are a lot of preconceived ideas about mental health, and particularly schizophrenia and psychosis. So we hope our support allows the team to continue to collaborate with Paul Fletcher and with those who have experience of psychosis to create a game that provides a fresh perspective on the condition and allows audiences to engage with it in a way that just wouldn't be possible in any other medium.
What started out as a brief consultation convinced me that we were only scratching the surface of an immensely deep and interesting subject that could enrich and change the very nature of the game.
That's cool. Thanks so much for coming in.
Pleasure. Thanks. It's really interesting for me. I'd love to be involved. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Our understanding of psychosis is still very much a mystery, and ways of treating it are still primitive compared to physical illness. After all, it is easy to see the pain and suffering caused by physical diseases or physical trauma. It is not so easy to see the mental suffering and trauma of severe mental illness. But what if we could find a way to see it? Games are capable of drawing you in for hours on end, playing the role of a character who is different from you, experiencing their perspective, and actively involving you in a world that functions with a different set of rules. If we were to represent Senua's psychosis, we would have to simulate voice hearing, a common attribute. But how can we simulate something we have no first-hand experience of? Professor Charles Fernyhough, a leading expert in voice hearing from Durham University, offered his help.
Hearing voices is an experience that is usually associated with severe mental illness, and crucially we know that hearing voices is a part of ordinary life for many people who don't meet the criteria for mental illness.
Yeah. Oh, that's not him in real life.
We know voices vary according to where they appear in space. Voices can appear far away in the distance, they can appear right there in your ear, they can seem to be coming from inside your head.
Based on the information Professor Fernyhough provided, I put together a sound brief and invited some actors to the studio. We recorded the actors using a binaural microphone, which records the 3D spatial position of sound, replicating the way sound is heard by human ears. It gives you an incredible sense that the person you are listening to is right there beside you.
Can't see where she's going.
Rachel Waddingham from the Voice Collective came to our studio with two young voice hearers to speak to our team. We talked at length about their experiences, and they listened to our tests, giving us feedback on how we could improve on it.
Everyone hates her.
Мой любимый
Very
голос в этой игре.
hard to represent what this experience is like, partly because it's such a personal, intense, emotional experience. It's testament to how Ninja Theory have been listening to what the researchers are saying, but also crucially listening to the experts by experience. What they've come up with is so compelling. It's by far the best representation I've heard of what these experiences are like.
Other common attributes of psychosis are visions and flashbacks. We met with Recovery College East, who work with and care for people recovering from severe mental disorders. A group of service users gave us their first-hand account of what they experience.
Sometimes when the visions or what we're seeing is too much, we become small until eventually we perhaps don't see anything.
The people we spoke to, the stories they told, were fascinating, harrowing and mind-boggling. The reality of what people experienced was vivid, far exceeding what I could possibly have imagined. We went away itching to represent some of these visions and flashbacks in the game.
As we all know, my heart is so, love is so far away. Don't you know how I wanna feel deeper? I could never know how you grow, all these days are killing me.
Просто невероятно была работа проделана для этой игры. Не знаю, с тем, что писал Майндовнер, я просто категорически не согласен. Возможно, в этой игре так не хватает какой-то задроченной бэвки, как в Секиро, но здесь нахер не нужна эта игра о другом. Это как примерно говорить, что в «Молчании ягнят» не хватает экшена, но это просто чушь собачья. Эта игра построена на совершенно другой истории, эта игра построена на загадках, эта игра увлекает тебя тем, как она создана, это отличается от всего, во что я играл в жизни. Она просто невероятно крутая. Я не залипал ни в одну игру настолько, что мы ее просто бахнули за 2 стрима по 5 часов, и от нее не хотелось отрываться ни на секунду. Просто охренительная игра. И это проделанная работа, что ребятами из группы, которые занимались игрой, что профессорами в психиатрических заболеваниях, что штуки с голосами, это все просто гениальная мова. Это четкое 10 из 10. Это лучшая игра, в которую мы играли на стриме. 100%. Это просто вау. Просто топ.
To refine our work, we continue to hold meetings with Recovery College East over the course of a year and a half, showing them what we had achieved so far and refining the in-game representations based on their feedback. With their help, flashbacks, visions and changes in perception were woven into the story and gameplay of Senua.
The students that are involved in this project are incredibly excited about being involved. They have described the experience as being important because it values their lived experience and shows that despite what we have been through, all of that experience becomes valid, that actually it's something that we should all be talking about.
The experiences described range from beautiful to frightening beyond comprehension. I heard of a girl who has to live with an angry voice screaming at her, slamming on her doors and walls 24 hours a day. I met someone who would often see hanging corpses in a room, so real that she would sometimes try to rescue them. The panic and fear that comes with such visions is entirely understandable, and it can be a living horror for some.
Worthless, weak, pathetic. Go on, feel sorry for yourself, because there is no one left to do that for you.
I was urged by one fellow that we should not shy away from showing this horror, and so I was perpetually torn in making Hellblade. Had we gone too far with our representations or not far enough?
Broken and lost. Just like your soul.
Да, во вторую часть тоже с удовольствием поиграл.
In some ways, voice hearing and
Надеюсь, что вторая
visions
часть
were the
будет не хуже
low-hanging fruit,
первой.
so to speak. There's another aspect of psychosis that is much harder to explain,
Офигенная
but
тема
one
с
that I think
порталами.
video games are uniquely able to represent, which are often called delusions.
People begin to see patterns in the world. They begin to link things that most people wouldn't link. Most of the things that we might think would be coincidence or, not worth commenting on. Nevertheless, that might have a particular salience or importance for them.
One
Прикольно.
individual described how everyday words, sounds, colours and objects were steeped in meaning to him, forming a strange and sinister puzzle that he was determined to solve but could not quite get to the bottom of.
It's not just brain dysfunction. It's not like the system shut down. It's actually an incredibly creative process. The person creates a world populated with voices and phantasms and terrors, and they're completely immersed in it. They believe in it.
We often invite people into the studio to play the game. In one of our playtests, they played through much of the game, making associations between runes, secret messages, and the threat of darkness that stalked them. There are many things that happen in the world of Hellblade that make perfect sense within the context of Senua's mind. The dark rot that's killing her slowly from within, the secret runes of the gods that block her path to Helheim, and strange associations that exist in the game to confuse you. To complete Senua's quest, you have to internalize and accept the logic and meaning behind these things to progress. Afterwards, they said that they didn't see much evidence of mental illness in the game. People with delusions of all sorts would argue the same thing. that they are not aware of their experience being abnormal in any way.
Нет, я еще не видел трейлер второй части.
I need this sword. It's important.
Representing perception changes and thinking patterns within Hellblade gives us a set of symptoms common in psychosis. But people with lived experience were keen to emphasize another point, that it is wrong to define a person by their symptoms. Quite often, the illness comes not from the symptoms, but from the stigma, isolation and mistreatment that comes about from the rest of society.
They say that I'm cursed. What if they're right?
I needed someone to portray Senua, someone who could believably internalize her suffering. Melina Jurgens, our video editor, had been a stand-in for Senua over a few months while we perfected our motion capture techniques. Without realizing it, she had already auditioned for the role, and I knew her well enough to know that I didn't have to teach her to act, but to relive her own internal pain. As often is the case, those who have suffered mental anguish are never far from us. My hope is that by creating a compelling and aspirational character in Senua who feels very much real, albeit in a fantasy setting, we can provide a lens into her reality, a different one to yours, and this is where storytelling comes into play. I imagined her life based on common threads in real people's lives. She was always prone to psychosis as a child. Her mother Galina also heard voices and had visions, so perhaps there was a genetic aspect. Or perhaps it was cultural, as she lived within a world without science, of gods and superstition, as exemplified by her druid father Zimbal. Psychosis developed in her late teens to early 20s and was exacerbated by stigma and isolation at the hands of the clansmen and her father.
Невероятно красиво сделано, как для инди-игры.
The trauma of seeing her lover Dillian sacrificed tips her over the edge, making her remodel her reality around a concept that connects everything: the darkness. So the question is, what Senua experiences real? Can only be answered by saying, yes, it is real. It is her reality.
All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time.
Towards the end of the project, service users and professionals that had collaborated with us were invited to see the near-final game. It was a chance to see if the game had reflected their views or if it had misrepresented them.
For me, being involved in especially developing Senua's character has been really important, and being able to bring in my perspective and what I see and what I hear, and having that built into the game has been a real privilege. It's gritty and it's meaty, and there are some tough subjects in there that are being tackled with honesty.
I was blown away by it today, absolutely blown away. It was just fantastic to get the opportunity to use our lived experience in a very creative way. There's nothing tokenistic about the work we've put in. It feels like we've been listened to, things have been taken on board, and I think there was a lot of realism in the game itself, and it feels very authentic.
Да, мне группа, правда, кажется очень настоящей.
Hellblade will give people a good experience of what it's like to hear voices and...
Трейлер заказывали?
Спасибо огромное, Егор. Давай досмотрим это и посмотрим трейлер Hellblade 2. Спасибо огромное за 3 сотни, дружа, от души.
Have those experiences. I'm glad that the guys at Ninja Theory kind of asked us to come along and
Сейчас я закину в топ
help to build an experience
очень
that's
интересно
positive
посмотреть.
when it comes out, and get myself a copy and have a go.
I think all the way through I was really inspired by how the conversations have translated into the game in a way that I think I didn't imagine was possible. So wonderful, really wonderful.
really hope that others will follow the lead they've set and use the power of something like a video game to change people's perceptions, to increase understanding, and ultimately to make some of the stigma around voice hearing and other experiences go away.
For me, it was really exciting to see something that I explore scientifically being represented so beautifully in a character who's trying to penetrate the mysteries of the environment in which they've been placed, with all of this strange uncertainty and noise and conflicting information that they're getting. I'm very excited by this way of trying to represent mental illness, because I think it actually might be offering us insights that we wouldn't get from pure scientific explorations, and actually giving us quite an empathic view of what it might be like.
Mental illness has been with us for as long as we have been on this planet, but why? Why hasn't evolution stamped out this weakness from within our gene pool? I often pondered this question until I realized that the question had an inbuilt flaw. It assumes that being and thinking differently is a weakness. The only reason we have computers, spacecraft, medicine, poetry, art, and yes, even video games is because individuals were able to simulate new abstract realities in their minds and share them with the rest of us. We need people to be willing to see differently in order for us to progress and survive as society. And we need to be open to these new ways of seeing. And it is this spirit that motivated me to create Senua story and share it with you.
Очень интересно, сколько они по времени их делали. Но там есть кадры, где они уже начинают это делать, по-моему, в году 2013 и в 2017 еще сидят, болтают. То есть они лет 5 делали. Это, конечно, бомба. Йогурт, дружище, давай посмотрим трейлер Senua 2. Прям с удовольствием. Когда она должна выйти по датам? Нам, я думаю, в трейлере скажут. Прям интересно. Давайте тогда выйду из сцены, чтобы звук из игры. Больше 5 лет получается, офигеть. Просто офигеть. Давайте посмотрим трейлер второй части. Югор, если что. Окей, дружи, сорян. Да, очень основательно подошли к разработке. Бля, какой же топ. Я слышал очень много позитивного про Hellblade, но я не думал, что она настолько крутая. Это просто топ-топовый, ребятки. Дату выше скидывал. Сейчас посмотрю, друже. 23-й. Это топ, друзья мои. Ух! Количество эмоций от игрухи столько, что даже словами это все сложно передать. Очень круто, что делаются игры не только на просто веселый движ. Очень здорово, что делаются игрухи на различные, действительно, тут не самые поднимаемые вопросы. Это всегда интересно проходить, смотреть, читать то, в чем ты не шаришь. Это очень круто. И я с невероятным уважением отношусь к людям, которые занимаются своей работой настолько кропотливо. Это просто охренительно. То есть, когда игра не выходит, там просто по одной части в год с тупой сменой локаций и с очередными драками, а когда эта игра прям, проработана настолько до мелочей, что можно поехать кукухой. Просто топ. Типа Hellblade это прям... Это пока что, я уже повторял это раз 10, но для меня это пока что топ-1 игруха, которую мы проходили. Это прям просто невероятно красивая игра. Я очень люблю такие атмосферные штуки, я очень люблю скандинавскую тематику, кельтскую тематику, плюс к этому истории с психическими заболеваниями меня интересовали, я там когда-то читал, смотрел по этому поводу, только одни комплименты в сторону создателей игры. Я очень надеюсь, что вторая часть не разочарует. Это было прям невероятно круто. Я надеюсь, ребятки, вам было интересно смотреть Senua. Спасибо всем, кто в донат-голе поддерживал Senua Hellblade. Я ни на секунду не пожалел, что мы взялись за эту игруху. Просто бомба, бомба, бимба. Аж... У меня мурашки потели последние, не знаю, минут 10 просто шли в конце игры. И фильм охренительный, и трейлер второй Senua охренительный. Да, теперь я, друзья, официально буду занудствовать на стриме, что это не Hellblade, да. Мне настолько в сердечко ни одна игра не попадала. Прям вот просто в самое-самое сердечко. Тупо красота. Ты понял, что в конце можно было не драться долго? Да, я понял, что в конце можно было умереть, но мы... я же отпустил мыши Клаву, и после этого меня убили. Ух... Это было действительно сильно. Это круто. Так, что у нас по планам? Завтра, то есть уже сегодня, в понедельник, у нас с вами будет обзор дополнения. Мы с вами будем болтать про картонки, которые выйдут. И еще немножечко поиграем в старой меди. Стримец начнется не в 18:00, а на час позже, в 19:00. Я на 17 чапаю постричь свою черепушку. В плане игр не ХС. Следующее воскресенье мы не ХС пропустим. Я специально хотел, чтобы мы дошли Hellblade. 8 числа будет выходной. У меня начинается проект по ролевухе. И 8 числа, ребятки, стрима не будет в воскресенье. Следующая не ХС игра я сделаю... голосовалку, скорее всего, уже сегодня вечером. И следующую игру не ХС мы с вами определим 15 числа. Начнем ее играть. Как обычно, подведем итоги голосования 13 числа. Я подумаю, какие 3 игрухи хотел бы закинуть в голосование. После Hellblade это будет сложно. Дума в этой голосовалке железобетонно не будет. Игра, которая проиграла в голосовании, не попадает в следующее. Doom будет... через одно он вернется, но в этом голосовании это будет просто нечестно, потому что была по-честному голосовалка, Hellblade выиграла, соответственно, 2 проигравшие игры Conceal и Doom в следующей голосовалке не участвуют. Через одну, да, но в этой нет. Я вот подумаю, я сделаю так же, как сделал в этот раз, я сяду, просмотрю все трейлеры, просмотрю какие-то оценки игры, есть просто хренова гора сольных крутых игр, в которые я не играл, мы с вами на стриме мало прошли игр не ХС, поэтому выбирать есть из чего. Я что-то подберу. Если у вас есть желание и хорошие варианты, буду благодарен, если вы мне их просто скинете в личку, ребятки. в личку, на Твиче, на ВК, YouTube, в смысле, Facebook, Telegram, все социалки есть. Если у вас есть прям игра, в которой вот вы уверены, что это будет охеренно на стриме, не просто которая нравится исключительно вам, а вот вы будете уверены, что это интересно будет и посмотреть людям на стриме, то закидывайте, буду благодарен. Фу, это было хорошо. Это было прям хорошо. Всем, кто сегодня смотрел, спасибо большое. Всем, кто смотрит на ютубе, привет. Лех, Майндовнер, спасибо большое, что забежал. Всем, кто сегодня модерил, кто смотрел игруху, спасибо огромное за просмотр. Всех обнял. Вечерком увидимся на просмотре в начале новых картонок. Будем разбираться с новым дополнением в Хардстоуне. И затем сделаем завершающий стрим в текущей мете. На дворе уже 2 число. И сегодня мы будем прощаться с метой, которая есть. Всем еще раз спасибо большое за то, что выбрали Hellblade. Это было просто охерительно. Просто бомба. Хороший вечер.